take this opportunity to welcome our honorable speaker, Dr. S. Vincent, and head of the department, Dr. V. Kartikeyan, staff members, students, participants from various institutions and KVCETs to the online webinar on pandemic lifeboat for career and safety. Respectable speaker, Dr. S. Vincent is an eminent zoologist who is serving as a Dean of Research at Loyola College, Chennai. With his scientific and administrative skills, he had facilitated the Loyola College to attain the College of Excellence status from UGC, Government of India. Prior to this position, he served as Member Secretary in Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, Government of Tamil Nadu, during the year 2007 to 11. He established IPR cells in the major universities of Tamil Nadu, and on behalf of BST, Government of India, he has organized the National Children's Science Congress during 2010 as the chairman of the Congress. He is recipient of Environment Award in 2012, awarded by Government of Tamil Nadu for his outstanding contributions on environmental awareness and conservation. He has completed more than 10 major funded projects. The recent project handled by him has acquired good appreciation from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. We are really blessed to have you as a speaker for this event, sir. And participants, I hope that all of you will enjoy the webinar. Now, without further delay, I will turn the time over to our speaker. Please, sir.
Thank you so much and for your nice introduction. Good morning to everybody. Of course, we are all in lockdown, but however, during this period, we are experiencing with a different kind of experience. But nothing to worry, and any crisis which creates an opportunity to innovate ourselves. That's what it happened. So I request all of you, nothing to worry about this, and rather how we can really utilize this lockdown, the period, and how we are going to create a wonderful world in future. When I received a call from Dr. Kartikeyan, head of the department, from Karpaga Vinayaga College of Engineering and Technology, I felt so happy because whenever there is an invitation from this institution, I used to readily accept, because whatever they do it very, very sincerely. It is also my joy to thank the management, especially Dr. Meenakshi Alamalai, Director. And also I want to really thank and appreciate the Kasinatha Pandian, the principal of this institution. And I'm very happy that two ladies and very much they have taken effort and make it possible today. I'm also happy about the topic which is really provided to me. And I felt happy because the topic is creating an opportunity to have a wonderful discussion today, what we are going to do or what we are going to have. And based on this, one message before I start, I want to tell you, and all the science people can feel happy. The main reason is we have greatest chance and opportunity now, and in fact even the corona given the greatest opportunity for all life science people, all science people to do something to this situation. That with this happiness we'll start this discussion, and I'm also much privileged to provide this a lot of input to you, and I understand many faculty are also participating. The students are also participating in this deliberation. I think it's a good combination, and we should really debate and deliberate this corona-based matter, and especially with the hope. And this is what the topic is not going to discuss about the problem, but it's going to discuss about the solution and how the science is providing a greatest opportunity for us. So on based of this, I made this topic as immunity and vaccine development. And today, these two aspects are very important to counter the coronavirus, where it is not only to protect us, and we are really telling the society, so nothing to worry. There are two elements of the science which is going to protect us. One is the immunity, and another one is vaccine. As you all know, today everybody talk about an immune system. When you have an immune system, you are well protected with this. That's what even the cases symptomatic and asymptomatic, especially asymptomatic, is taken care by its own, because he or she have this wonderful potentiality of immunity. And of course, everybody waiting with a great hope, and we will have a vaccine, and by which the virus can be very, very much controlled and checked. And I'm telling today, the vaccine is going to come. It's also going to save the entire people, entire humankind. So, on this positive note, let me move to the next slide. Not moving. So, next slide, where if you talk about coronavirus, where we feel now so many lakhs of people are affected with this, and so many lakhs of people are infected with this. And if you look at it, though it started in the end of the December, but the kind of the spread happening in the world, it is very, very disturbing. That's the reason the World Health Organization, given it is a global pandemic, say it's a pandemic, it's something very dangerous. So that's what, by seeing the nature of the spread, the World Health Organization to warn the entire world, and the coronavirus spread, the COVID-19, and it's a global pandemic, and where the country should take care of a lot of aspects as a measure to protect your own people. This is what the World Health Organization is a custodian of health and monitoring the entire pandemic issue, especially on the COVID-19, and they have communicated. That's the reason today, and the entire world, and especially if we could see each and every country, the leaders are coming and addressing the people, and just because, and the World Health Organization made is a global pandemic, and where it's the responsibility of particular leaders of the. Until today, and we have 45 million cases, and that's what we say, that 45 lakhs of people are infected with this, and we have also lost 3 lakhs of people through this coronavirus. So on base of this, and now we are also very much clear and what kind of the changes happening with the people, and especially the kind of the infection and all kind of things which we are able to understand in better way. And I'm very happy media also played a greatest role and to popularize the why the coronavirus is really disturbing and what's the problem which is laying on this kind of thing. And especially why we need not worry about the coronavirus, but we should be very careful. That's the reason that people are already having some ailment, and especially the cancer or the coronary disease, they're supposed to take care of that. So, but however, if we want to control the coronavirus, and there should be a very great effort, which should be taken by each and every country to slow down the transmission. So this is the underlining message we should understand, and how we really going to slow down. That's the reason we are all under the lockdown. And sometimes the people are also saying that during lockdown, lot of depression and even so kind of the mental agony, all there. That's true. But one thing we should understand, the lockdown is our social distancing or the solution to slow down the transmission. So that is what you should really and understand. Though the lockdown is a very, very disturbing process for us, but where we are helping the entire world and how we are really slowing down the transmission into that. Then in this case, we have very positive information. One is we have already some of the drugs which are already developed, which is used the process to find a vaccine, and it's already the vaccine is it is the trial, and where many countries are involved, many corporate pharma industry are involving into that, and where these two things which really protecting our people and with a great confidence. But though we know and how is really the coronavirus which troubles us, and most of the time the coronavirus affect or infect the lungs. That is what we are very much worrying on that. For example, this coronavirus will find a place in the lungs, and due to that only, and we could get a lot of the complication of cough and the cold and plump and all kind of things coming into that. But usually any virus infect the lungs, slowly wipe out that kind of virus, and of course our immune system takes care. Then second one is the kind of the diet which we used to have, and especially we say the traditional diet, which normally it takes care of the lungs for within a week. But in terms of coronavirus, and unfortunately the lungs which very much affected by the coronavirus, and where it really percolate into the cells of the lungs and convert the cells of the lungs towards the coronavirus. So that is what sometimes the fatal things happen. I'll explain to you a little later, but how this really trouble us, it's a respiratory symptom is the first cause or the symptom, and where we could and understand, and some unusual things happen in our body. It may be coronavirus, but not all suffocation or the lungs infection. It mainly due to the coronavirus. It may be some other virus too. So, but we need not panic. But at the same time, we should be aware of it. And where the sore throat is also one of the factors. For example, we have a sore throat. Usually, we used to take erythromycin, or otherwise we will take traditional medicine like some kasayam and all this. But even that erythromycin, it is all a remedy just to control the virus and activity. That's all. It's not a cure, but it is control to just control the viral load or the viral activity. When it reduce the burden of this virus, then our immune system boosted up, then it takes care of it. But even today, there is no medicine for cold. We should understand that. The same situation even in the time of coronavirus. But fortunately, there are drugs which are developed. There are traditional food which we have. Even we say traditional medicine, which really support our body to boost the immune system by which we are able to get into that. So the next we should see that what way the coronavirus is different from others. And for simple understanding, I'm just classifying 4 types of virus, and especially under the corona family. One is commonly circulating coronavirus. The second one is a severe acute respiratory syndrome. That's what SARS. And few years back, especially in the year 2002, again it's occurred in China. And from that moment, we are very much careful, and especially the postal department, and then separate instruments are provided for any spread of SARS through even through post, and it can be detected and controlled. But today, and there's so many drugs and vaccines which are available into that. Then the third one is Middle East respiratory syndrome. Before it, the commonly circulatory coronavirus, which is a very ordinary and a virus which won't create any big problem, but it troubles many children. But there is no mortality, and even today. So that's what the first category of coronavirus, it is shortly called C. So that is what is happening. Then that the Middle East respiratory syndrome, and this is happened because of the again the coronavirus family, where you could see that so many fatal things happen. So that is what it is also very much. And the World Health Organization that time it also declared it's a pandemic, and then there is so much of effort has been put. Now we are in the process of having vaccine into that. The next, this is COVID-19. The COVID-19, and this is what now troubling us. But the difference, this COVID-19, the virus, how it differs from the remaining. That's what we are going to understand. The coronavirus, especially COVID-19, like any other virus of corona family, but it has one unique character. That's called the spike protein. The spike protein, it is the one which is unique from other coronavirus. Even as per the literature, if you could see that, the coronavirus has been even identified in the year 1930. Then it had a spread in the 1960s. But now, how it is evolved, how it's mutated, there the spike protein, this is a new structure which happened in the corona family. That's what COVID-19, and that is very, very different from other coronavirus. That's one of the reasons the death rate are more due to the COVID-19. I think being a student, we should also when you understand very clearly, then there won't be any confusion. Even your exam point of view also, you will have a clear an understanding about coronavirus. So as a virus as such, and when you're coming into the COVID-19, and though it has all other structure, but one structure is different from other virus, that's called spike protein. The spike protein is the one with exactly going and binding in the lung cell, because lung has a very unique facility to attract this virus, especially the spike protein, and where it's turned and it receive this coronavirus. That is the reason, and it's become very dangerous and fatal. I think this point you have to very clearly understand. Now, I'm just providing a little mechanism to you. I already mentioned to you, there is a clear how it's getting into the lungs. It's not going to any other organ because it's going to the lungs directly, because the lung has very unique protein called ACE2 protein of the human cell. The ACE2 protein, which is very important in the lungs, it is also protecting lungs very well. At the same time, it providing opportunity to attract the coronavirus into this because the coronavirus has a unique type of amino acid residue, the glutamide 493. So now this is a better combination happened. And one side the coronavirus has a residue of the major amino acid residue of glycogen 493. It will have an attachment in the lungs that too in the lungs the ACE2 protein which is present in the lungs, and they have a coordination, and that's the reason this virus enter into the lungs as a friendly virus, then it's get connect and finally it's affect, then it's create a respiratory infection, then the person is infected with the coronavirus which find difficult to breathe. So that's what the shortening of the breathing, and we are saying it is nothing but it is just to the coronavirus and amino acids rich the glucosamine 493 is going and connecting with lungs where the lung has ACE2 protein of the human cell, and that combination leads to the respiratory infection. This is what exactly happening in our body. It's not simply going and troubling everything. It's exactly going and sitting and landing into the lungs and creating all kind of changes. And that is the reason. So now we have to break this. And that's the reason sometimes it happens because of immunity, or otherwise it may be due to the immune system into that. Then the diagnosis process. I think everybody aware of it, especially being a biotechnology student. One connects the COVID-19 like SARS and MERS. That's the reason in this specific viral diagnostic, an RT-PCR, it is very much used. And apart from then immunoglobulin ELISA assay combined with PCR, which will give exactly the results whether the person infected with COVID-19 or not. So we cannot use all other methods. The virus of the corona family like SARS or MERS. So it is, being a biotechnology student, you should also understand whether this can be used for all virus. No. And especially the coronavirus, the RT-PCR, and if not, that the ELISA and that immunoglobulin ELISA and with the PCR, and that's what now we are getting an accurate things. Now, with this background, and what are the things which we are able to provide and or treat or taken care of those patients with infected with that. And usually, if a person infected with the coronavirus or COVID-19, and definitely there will be a problem in the respiratory process. So that's the reason we should provide more ventilator to them. That ventilator support them in the respiratory process. In meantime, we will be treating them, then the immune system pick up, then they become normal. But fortunately in India, such a situation, it didn't happen. Only few, a very negligible percentage really get troubled with oxygen, especially the breathing problem. But we are able to provide now the better process of the drugs. That is what antiviral and anti-malarial and anti-HIV and anti-inflammatory drugs. I want to tell you
ఏ అయిపోయినామే అయిపోయినా ఏం సౌండ్ లే
It's all right now. Yes. Yes. So, and where we should thank the scientific community and already drugs. Yes, it's okay now. Not, yes, 1 minute. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay. It's coming. It's coming. Hello. Able to hear? I have already told about the diagnostic process where we could see kind of the diagnostic facility, but for COVID-19, and we need a specialized type of the facility to test it. Though there are coronavirus family, it's already tested with a different kind of method. But for COVID-19, RT-PCR is a accurate facility to diagnose any patient. And similarly, and uh, the ELISA test and with the PCR, which are also working very much. Then I have told about this. There are which already developed. Now we are using the same drug for COVID-19 in different countries. One way or other, it providing a very good cure for the coronavirus. So that's the reason, though it's done for Ebola virus, the drugs which is readily available today, and as a backlog, and that's the reason we are providing with the remedies where this is the drugs which already developed, which really treating well the COVID-19. So where we have a confidence. Then FABI virus, that is
There is no audio, please. We are not hearing anything.
So the second drugs we have with us is a favipiravir. This is the drugs which are already developed to treat the viral disease and especially RNA dependent and RNA polymerase. And where this drugs now we are using for COVID-19. The second drug, which is developed by Japanese government, now they are really using it to treat the COVID-19. And especially these are the drugs which are developed in a different country for a different purpose to treat viral disease. Now it's become the very much beneficial to the people of those countries when they are infected with COVID-19. And you have ivermectin. This is another drugs which are already available and which is very much used for AIDS and especially the HIV infected person. And that's the reason even in India, this drug become so popular to treat COVID-19. And this ivermectin very much useful also to treat the dengue virus. And that's the reason this drugs which is very much now available to treat the COVID-19. Then and SARS and MERS. So now we are using it to treat the COVID-19. This is another fourth popular drugs which are available. Then this is everybody knows this hydrochloroquine. Normally use this drug to treat malaria, but now it's become the very popular drug to treat COVID-19. Even the US government requested the Indian government to provide the hydroxychloroquine because Cipla is producing so much of quantum of drug on the hydrochloroquine. Now this drug become very popular to treat the COVID-19 and especially in US as well as in India. Then another drugs that's called umifenovir, and this is very much approved by Russia and China. These drugs usually to treat influenza or other blue virus, but now we are able to really control the COVID-19. So if you look at the drugs which are already available with us, become the wonderful drugs to treat the COVID-19. Here we should really appreciate the people or the country who are all responsible to develop the drugs for various other viral diseases, but now it is used and it treated many people. And first 1 week, you could see that the many people are getting treated well, and then they are going with a negative of COVID-19 because many lakhs of people are getting cured by this kind of drugs, which is already developed into that. Then we have another recombinant human angiotensin converting enzyme, which also block the spike protein, the S protein. And because if you could disconnect the S protein, connecting with the ACE2, which is present in the lungs, then obviously there will not be any infection. And even we are breaking the chain of this combination of these two elements to create an infection, lung infection. So now the recombinant human angiotensin converting enzyme is also readily available to control or even to block the COVID-19 entering into the human being. Even if you enter, then it is taken care of by this genetic product, the genetically modified product that's called recombinant human angiotensin converting enzyme. Then people are also developing to build the immune system, the natural killer cells. And obviously, any viral infection happen into our body itself, because of immune system, develop a natural killer cell that takes care of all the pathogen which are entering into the body. And that's the reason any pathogen enter our body, and without damaging, it comes out because of we have an inbuilt natural killer cell in our body. But when someone is weak, or when someone is infected with this kind of virus, if we could boost with the artificially developed natural killer cell, when you inject into our body, that boosts our immune system so that any virus particle which will be wiped out from our body. Then the recombinant interferon, and as a biotechnology student, you know that, and how much really this kind of the recombinant interferon is building immune system. When you start to build immune system, and obviously this kind of infection which is getting reduced, so that you free from this kind of viral infection. Then you have an unintending inflammatory response, where people are also synthesizing mesenchymal stem cell, then intravenous immunoglobulin, and of course the COVID-19 specific neutralizing antibody, and the blocking the interleukin 6 pathway. These are all the product now which people are really developing to build immune system. Whether it's cure disease or not, what in the slide, what I have mentioned so far, it's all developed to reduce the viral load in the body, and apart from it is boost the immune system of our body, so that this will very much expel out that kind of the viral infection from our body. And this is another very popular therapy now suggested, plasma therapy. As you know, the plasma therapy, I tell you today, and you will have a question out of this. Anybody for the matter, whether you are a student of zoology or biotechnology or microbiology or even competitive examination, and even exam point of view, I'm explaining to you the plasma therapy. It is the therapy now suggested. But I cannot say this is the very prime therapy to treat COVID-19. No. It is one of the method now it's readily available. As you know, a person infected with COVID-19, one is get cured, we can take, because this person once is get cured, is totally built with the immune system against COVID-19. What the people, the scientists are doing, they collect the blood of those people and isolate the plasma. If you look at in the blood, and 45% blood corpuscles, 55% the plasma, blood plasma. When you say that, if you could see the kind of the combination of the percentage of the plasma, the 55%, which will have an all kind of the antibody to fight against the COVID-19. That's the reason now this method is provided to us. And when you isolate this plasma from the person is cured through COVID virus, and this become a medicine for those people when you get injected, and it really produce so much of antibody and fight against the COVID-19 infection, the coronavirus infection into the body. That's the reason it becomes a very popular therapy now, and it is one of the promising therapy. And even the students really interested to do some research in this, and now itself there is a greatest opportunity to work on to that. So when you say the plasma therapy, And if you could define it, it's like this. And antibodies isolated from blood plasma are injected into the infected person, which you would neutralize the virus. So that is what the beauty of the plasma therapy. I think you should really study more, and you can also get into research and work towards it. So that's why, and it's working in terms of the plasma therapy. Now let me move to the vaccine, which is really and get it ready in front of us, because the vaccine, which is the one which is going to provide a permanent remedy or solution for this kind of viral problem, and that's what the people are also saying. The coronavirus is going to be with us another 2 to 3 years. But if you want to wipe it out, the vaccine is the right solution. If you could see that when you are able to develop the vaccine, then if you are vaccinated with this, even if the coronavirus which around us will not trouble us. That's the reason today so many companies or governments are playing a greatest role. But you may ask a question, when it's going to come? But I tell you, it may be very, most probably the 2020 in the December at the end, or surely in the year 2021. And I'm very clear, the vaccine, the way in which our scientists are working, which will bring it as early as possible. But why this delay happens, you should also understand, being a scientific community, when you develop a vaccine and you cannot immediately administer to anybody, and once you're done after animal study, you should administer into the human. That's what we call clinical trials. And where first you have to test with 20 to 8 volunteer themselves. And once the drug approved, done by the authority, you have to provide to 20 to 80 patient and test on that, how the vaccine works into. The second one is, and you have to test the same vaccine another 100 to 300 people. So you have to collect the data, how it works. You have to identify any side effects happen. Once done into that, then you should go for 1,000 to 3,000 participants. And once this data provided to the FDA approval, then after that, they will give final approval before launch the vaccine to administer to the people. Then after that, you have to again identify 1,000 people, and then you have to test on that. Then the data, which will clearly clear, there won't be any side effect into the human. Now you understand that why the vaccine is getting so long period to come for the utility of the people, because it's needed such a kind of the process. So that's the reason, and it's the first time the World Health Organization country to develop this kind of vaccine. So I am confident because of their support, their and a wonderful coordination, we may get the vaccine and at the earliest. And now, what are the vaccine which is available? I mean, now they prepared as ready for clinical trial. The first vaccine which is done and which is readily available now under the clinical trial is mRNA 1273. Now this vaccine is already developed. Now it is under clinical trial. It may come any time when this comes. And I think this is another greatest boon for humankind. And almost all the people are free from the coronavirus infection. The second vaccine, INO 48 or 4800, and which is developed by an Innovio Pharmaceuticals, and they are really developing, and it is comes under the phase 1 clinical trial, which are also going to come. Then another one is CHAD-OX1, the coronavirus 19, and here interesting, it is created by University of Oxford. And it is not only R&D centers, it's now the universities are also involved in developing. They also successfully brought out, and it's a great message for us also how an institution, an academic institution can also develop this kind of vaccine. And now they are under the clinical 2, and very shortly, and they may also bring this vaccine for COVID-19. The next vaccine is stabilized subunit vaccine, and they have developed in the form of molecular clamp technology, and which really how the fusion can be done and how it can be prevented when the coronavirus get into the body, how this can be protected with the molecular clamping technology. Then the nanoparticle based vaccine, and I think nowadays we cannot ignore the nano science. The nano science also providing opportunity. They are also developing the nanoparticle based vaccine, and under the clinical trial, one it's working towards, and I'm confident when this kind of vaccine comes, even a small quantity may require to provide a wonderful system to human beings so that the COVID-19 will not near you. Even if it comes to you, it will be protected very much into that. Now, the Italian government coming out with the vaccine, they said most probably this vaccine may be available in the month of September or October, because this is the vaccine done by them, because Italy was the and to develop a vaccine on base of this, and they are bringing, and hopefully this may be a wonderful an opportunity for us. Then Oxford University already tested with this vaccine with the monkey, and coronavirus. Then coming to Indian system, and what is the contribution of India and in this COVID-19 in terms of the vaccine? First of all, an Indian product, natural product itself is a big therapy for this COVID-19. And especially we have a wonderful system of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Yoga, Naturopathy, and Homeopathy. I think this is the high time. We should give an equal importance to all those. An early time will be different, but now the COVID-19 given a greatest opportunity to us to provide and a wonderful thrust towards this, because these are the naturopathy product now building a good immune system to take care of it. So we are very much into the process where we are going to supply more natural product to build immune system to counter this kind of viral infection now and forever. Then India already developed a vaccine PCG. This everybody knows. The PCG, which used to provide or vaccinate the people to free from tuberculosis. That's what now our country is working towards, free tuberculosis country. That's the reason this PCG, which is available. Now our country is working towards, and we have started the clinical trial whether this will contain the COVID-19. The reason is, as you know, the tuberculosis, it's because of the infection in the lungs. Now, and the similar way, if you could really administer into the COVID-19 patient, and definitely there will be a possibility of curing or preventing that COVID-19 entry. So I'm confident, and also we are connecting with the University of Oxford. Our country already allocated 100 crore, and under this scheme, and we are going to get a well-refined vaccine, and surely we may get a wonderful vaccine even from India. So there is a possibility. And the two more points I have to highlight to you before I could finish it. And there are products really boost our immune system. The food which containing more zinc, because it's very important for any wound healing. Similarly, vitamin C, that is very important to protect cell from oxidative stress, then a product of infection or chronic inflammation. So that's the reason even the COVID-19 time, the most of the expert advised to have more vitamin C. So similarly, iron-rich food, because when you have a more iron, it really builds the immune system and it protects our body well. Then vitamin E, it's protect the cell from oxidative stress. Any stress comes, and it is the body is protected with the vitamin E. Then vitamin A to help regulate our immune response. Then vitamin B6, which also support the human system, and it provide the very good immune. So if you altogether, if you look at the minerals and vitamins are very major elements to build the immune system. So now we have to concentrate on do that. Under immunity, we have to do that. So here, when you want to really manage with the COVID-19, and if you could adopt the practice which already suggested, you will not get COVID-19 infection. Because if you are little careless, then you become the carrier. And apart from, and you become the carrier and to infect a few more people. So that's the reason today the lockdown really helped many people to protect and to disconnect the chain, and that's the reason we are able to save many people. So hopefully another week we may get very good results and of the declining trend in the COVID-19. So with this, and I really wish to and appreciate the organizer for having given this topic, and being a participant, I really tell you, here this kind of information, with the information of confidence, with the information of hope, virus, it's of course is a very, very dangerous, but when you are able to protect yourself and protect our people, that will not trouble us. Even if it troubles, then nothing to worry, because already I have mentioned a list of drugs which are already available to us to protect, to cure our people. That's the reason now in India, we have more curing record is higher rate. And very interestingly, our Indian population has so much of the immune potential, because the kind of food which we are eating, which is going to be another very great things from Indian side. But being a student or the faculty of science, we have to take more into the science. And when you convert into the science, and as day goes, the life science people will have a great demand. And I know that now itself, I'm getting many calls. The people who have expertise in the PCR running, they have there are 500 people are needed now. So as you are learning science, you should also get into research and get into technique and learn it, and so that we are going to serve the entire world. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
So thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much,
Um,
Educator.
Thank you, sir. Very informative.
Yes.
And share your research experience to us. After a decade,
Yes.
from 2016, 2020, we are getting a new chance,
Yes.
sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much.
Now I
Now,
call Ramya
Thank
will
you.
say what are things.
Yes, sir. On behalf of Department of Biotechnology, IIC and IQAC, I take this opportunity to propose a word of thanks. It's my privilege to extend our sincere gratitude to Honorable Guest Speaker, Dr. S. Vincent, former Dean of Research, Loyola College, for gracing today's webinar with his thought-provoking presentation and making us even more understandable and interesting.
Yes.
We are really enlightened with